What's up, Final Community? Cliff the Final Cheapskate here. Coming at you with another video. How's it going, guys? It's the weekend, doing a Friday drinking music. This week I'm kind of piggybacking off of Heavy Metallurgy last weekend. They did a video or a live stream on this book right here. I got this for Christmas. I was planning on doing this video anyway because I was going to read the book and then go into some of the American black metal, the USBM stuff that I have in my collection, and just go through, talk about some stuff. What I'm doing here, since seems like Marty and the boys over at Heavy Metallurgy did a pretty good job covering most of the stuff that was in this book. Couple they didn't get. It's fine. I can't do everything. They were on for a good 3 hours. I watched the whole thing on Monday. And I figured I'm going to do some stuff that came out after this book, and maybe a couple that are new to my collection. There's only one that's new to my collection, and it's a band that I kind of totally forgot about. And then they showed up in the book, so I picked up a couple CDs just to check them out. And it's what we're listening to now. That's Hemlock. Actually, dirt cheap CDs. Hemlock CDs. These were dirt cheap. I think they were like $4 or $5 each. So picked them up to check them out. As you can hear, music's really good. Very rough, very like screechy, over the top vocals. It's good so far, and this is the first I've listened to it. So, and if I have heard these guys before, it was decades and decades ago. But yeah, cool stuff. So even after listening to black metal since 2000, basically, 2000, 2001 is when I first started like really getting into black metal. And even 25 years later, I'm still finding old stuff from back in the day that I didn't know about. So good stuff. It always pays to do some research. So, yeah, Hemlock, they're a band from New York. Like I said, they're doing, this one's not, I have their third one too, and that's super raw, but I left that in my car. But yeah, good stuff. Anyway, like I said, I think I'm going to talk about some black metal that wasn't featured in the book or was after the book was written. One band, I don't think this band is in here. And honestly, they're only marginally a black metal band. They're about as much a black metal band as I would say Venom is a black metal band. And I use Venom on purpose because I'm going to show this early Midnight material is laden with black metal riffs. Like I said, wouldn't necessarily call this a black metal album, but I feel like they were important in bringing a more punk rock sound back into extreme metal stuff. More like rock, more like a blackened rock and roll band than a black metal band. Midnight is definitely a metal band, 100% heavy metal. But black metal, you know, it's in there for sure. But really think this band was kind of like overlooked in this book. I don't remember them being in there, and I might have just not gotten to the chapter where they were at yet. I'm only halfway through, so not sure if they're in there or not. Another one that's from the time frame where that book would have been written. I think this came out in 2011. Let's see, where'd it go? Sorry, I got these in a certain order. This came out in 2011. that's maybe the earliest Alex Poole project. I'm not sure, but this is an Alex Poole project. At least he's in this band. Chaos Moon. Really good. This one's really good. Kind of depressive black metal. Don't know if it's exactly depressive black metal, but this has a very Euro feel to it. The US black metal usually has a bit more of like a heavy kind of death metal feel to it. This doesn't have any of that. This is the repress that came out on Binder a few years ago. But this is great. Really good use of synth in here for the most part. I really like everything about this album. It's good all the way through. There's just one spot where it's like, I think it's called, yeah, Simulacrum of Mirrors. Like that song kind of just, it's dropped right in the middle and kind of breaks up the whole album for me. But this is great stuff. I really liked this band. I discovered them probably around 2017, I think, on their second album, the one that Jeff Whitehead drew the cover art for. But yeah, this is great stuff. If you like stuff like the early Satyricon stuff, and maybe like a mix of like Zazthor and early Satyricon stuff, and like the raw side of like early Enslaved stuff, you would probably really like this. It's a little vampiric, kind of the howling, like shrieking ghost vocals, kind of. But this is great stuff. I'm gonna move this beer; it's like completely in my way. But really good shit right here. Check it out if you haven't checked this one out yet. It's pretty easy to find too. Another one is the early Cape of Bats record. Cape of Bats is, I believe they were from Baltimore, but members of this band went on and formed another one of my favorite, like kind of like blackened punk D-beat bands, Devil Master. And I picked this newest one. This newest one leans a little more into like a post-punk feel, which the rest of their stuff is more like a D-beat type thing. But I just grabbed this one. It was the first one I grabbed. This is the last one I bought. But Devil Master is a band from Philadelphia. They play like kind of like a blackened D-beat. Really like warbly guitar sound, spooky stuff. They're really cool live. They have a great live show. Like a Halloween, it's like a Halloween decoration on stage. It's really cool. But yeah, this is great stuff. Check out Devil Master if you've never heard of Devil Master. It's well worth your time. Show a couple more CDs. Another band, I think, in the newer camp of US black metal that I really enjoy. This one's a little synth-based, and it's a one-man project. I think he was from South Carolina, but has since, I think the guy who does this is in Baltimore now. And that's Trhä. Trhä's a weird band. It's definitely just made by a nerd who... an artist nerd, I'll put it that way. This guy, all his artwork is really like weird and kind of like very artsy and like overexposed photos and good use of light. Like this one's great use of light for this photo. it just looks so like creepy and weird and off-putting. But it's really just a red light and pictures of him with some flames, I think. And really great shit. The music is really out there. It's an experimental, very much, some of it's synth heavy. All his albums sound a little different. Very prolific guy. He puts out a ton of music. But I think he's like a screamo guy that puts out black metal records. And his black metal records are just very strange in the way that they present. It basically, the guy made up his own language, and all of it's like a weird fairy language. You can't understand any of it. Sounds kind of nerdy and bad, but the music is so good on it that it just kind of like overtakes like the kind of weird obscureness of the theme of the project. Very good shit. Check out Trhä. I'm gonna put links to all the bands underneath. Pretty raw, usually raw production on these. Like I said, one-man project. Very good at his instruments, great riffs, good drummer, just really good stuff. Now, complete opposite end of the spectrum. We've got Nihil Invocation. This was released on Nuclear War Now. This is just really raw, primitive black metal stuff. Very much just like early American style, where it's like very raw, good riffs. There's actually not even any blast beats in this because I don't think the guy can play blast beats. I think it's a one-man project. Yeah, I think it's a one-man project, but great shit right here. Really stompy, kind of mid-paced black metal all the way through. Crunchy, cold riffs, cold as hell production. Yeah, it's good shit. I like this one. Didn't care for the newest one as much. He tried to do a more clean, clearer like production and kind of changed the style of the music, and I don't know if I liked it or not. I think I gotta listen to it again. Some more kind of raw. This is raw, punky black metal. It's definitely straight up black metal. Less punk than Devil Master was. That's Kukailamoku. This is a great band from Hawaii. So basically like anti-colonialism black metal. Very like confrontational and harsh. Again, great riffs. Very simple drumming on this. Basically just like straightforward punk drums through this whole thing. Another one-man project. It's a gorgeous record. This was on Go to War X. And probably one of my favorite of the newer black metal projects hanging around America. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's purple vinyl. One of my favorite. I'd love to see them live. They also do a great. There's also a great boy band that this guy does. It's someone from the Pacific Northwest, and called Burning Hammer. That's also excellent. But definitely check this out. Kukailamoku. Great stuff. This might be my favorite record of theirs. I've got a bunch of tapes. And I also have this split here. with Ebony Pendant, another great black metal band from the Northwest, from I believe Portland, Oregon. But Ebony Pendant's great. This is the only Ebony Pendant. I wanted to throw them on here, but this is the only Ebony Pendant thing that I own. I need to pick up some more. Saw him live. Another one-man black metal group. Great stuff. And this is an excellent, like, raw black metal thing right here. If this Hemlock ends, I'll put that on next. Some more interesting ones. These guys are another one that's very prolific. Another one-man project from the Northwest. Old Nick. Old Nick is a weird and interesting project. I picked up. This is an older Old Nick with a different logo. Both Old Nicks. Got a ton of Old Nick records. I buy them whenever I find one for sale. But they're a vampiric black metal group. They call themselves vampiric black metal, I guess. I don't think they call themselves anything except for a black metal project. But they're kind of tongue-in-cheek with their album cover. There. See, I should have grabbed a different one, but they have ridiculous names for their songs. These are more... This is his earlier stuff where he's a little more reserved with his song titles. Vampire, Witch, Ghost, Blood, 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 Tragic Castle Obsession. So he's kind of tongue-in-cheek with all of his stuff. But he plays a weird mix of like chiptune, almost Nintendo-sounding music with black metal on it. But the black metal is so good that it kind of... It's so good that like you can't even tell that it's a joke while the music's on. It's fucking awesome. One of my favorite projects out right now, period, out of any type of music, is this Old Nick stuff. Because it still sounds like evil and chaotic in a different kind of way, where it sucks you in, and it's always so catchy that you can't really you can't really like not finish it out. It's so good. Another one, I got two more here. Kind of went quick through those. I probably could have went a little longer, but Hulder, one-woman black metal group. Hulder was from, I think she was in Canada when she started, and now I believe she lives in California. Really good, kind of like Scandinavian style black metal. This one's a little different. She used to just do like a more cold and kind of like sterile production on her stuff. This one's a little warmer, almost death metal production on this. Deeper vocals, kind of heavier riffs. So a little more of a death metal-y feel on this. It's still black metal riffs, still tremolo picking, all the stuff you want in a black metal band. But kind of like more elaborate, less simple songwriting. So it's getting a little more complex than her earlier stuff, where it's like very simple and basic, raw stuff. This is not as raw, but very good. This was her first foray into 20 buck spin, I think. It's the first one that came out on 20 buck spin. But this is fucking excellent. I'm really only showing you the ones that I really like that basically came after the book. It's a great book. I'm really enjoying it so far. Just Marty and them showed like everything. They did a 3-hour stream, so that's why I went with ones that kind of came out after the fact. One more band from Philadelphia. This one's called, or a Philadelphia area from Pennsylvania, Dumal the Confessor. This is another one. This is like basically just Scandinavian second wave black metal worship here. If you like Immortal or like those early Immortal records, if you like the early Enslaved records before they got too proggy, you know, just good, straightforward. Maybe some of the Swedish stuff, like Mork and stuff like that. You'd probably like this Dumal record. Fast, savage. I got the fancy gold vinyl. This one's getting harder to find too. I got lucky and I found it at a record store at Sit and Spin Records in Philadelphia. So, really good stuff. And some of this stuff, there's one more I'm going to show. And this one kind of mixes black metal and doom. It's like a blackened doom project. And that's Nightfell. This is Todd Burdett and the guy from Weregoat. I think it's Weregoat. Playing blackened doom metal stuff. This is my favorite by theirs. It's the one with the best songs on it. And it's the one where they're totally went all in on metal, and it's not, because the other one has like a little bit of like almost a DB feel, like a crust punk feel. This one still has a little crustiness, but it's way more of a straightforward metal record. So it's black metal and doom metal mixed. Maybe there's some death metal riffage in there, but this is excellent. On brown, this says Brown Galaxy record vinyl, so it doesn't really shine through, but you can see it's brown. So yeah, just wanted to throw my hat in the ring on some American black metal, give you guys some stuff to look into if you wanted some newer American black metal stuff to check into. Most of this stuff has come out in the last, I'd say at least the last like 15 years. And that's about it. Hope everybody has a good weekend. We're about to get a shit ton of snow. And yeah, cheers everybody. Hope you all have a good weekend. And listen to some black metal. And drink some booze. Try and enjoy life. Cheers.